Good morning, everybody, here on April 27th, here, 2023. We have, we're going to look at gold today, and we're going to look at the U.S. dollar. But first of all, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, sell stocks, options, futures, equities, or any kind of Forex. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase stocks, please contact a licensed professional or the brokerage house of your choice. Also, like and subscribe my channel, and if you could share it, please do. Welcome to Trading Within the Box. Okay, so I want to show you, first of all, gold. Okay, so this is April 27, 2023 here on a Thursday, and we're lurking around in this area. Okay, I want to show you something right here. You see the box? How we trade within the box. Okay. So right now we're in a sideways situation here. We have distribution of volume right here, okay? You can see the distribution of volume right there. And then over in this area right here, right in this spot, you can see that we have this support area underneath holding up. Because why? Because if you look at the volume right down in this area right here, and then put your eyes up here, you'll see that there was massive, in this little cluster right here, there was massive buying, right? So we see that there was a lot of buying up in this area to get over and above this area, right, where we had the supply area, which was right there. So now we have the new support line. That's how we have the new support line, right in that spot. So we come all the way down on the stochastics, okay, and then let's look if we have what we have on a line chart here to see actually what's happening. Okay, so we see it right here in this spot right here. We're just going sideways, and markets go sideways 65% of the time. So what do? We want to see if we're going to pull back to a support area. Are we going to get this kind of thing here? And we got these little lower highs, and then but we have a holding of support right here. Okay, do we break? And then we go into the gap area right here. Okay, so that's what's happening with gold right now. So if you look and you go to a weekly chart and you want to see an overall picture of what's actually happening here, you'll see that you're sitting at a support line right there. So will they try to bounce this and test this little area right here? Probably with no problem. The overall picture on the weekly chart, as you look at it, you see it right up here trying to pull back a little bit. So we could get this thing to pull back, and we could go like sideways for a little bit while and then retest this area right here. So that's what I think is going to happen, because we have beautiful volume right here. And then what happens, usually we retest that area. We're starting to retest that area right now. And then we're going to go retest this spot right here again. So that'll be another spot that will retest. Now, we can go to the dollar, we go to US dollar, and we see, what do we see on a weekly chart here? And we see it basing here, okay? So as you look at the US dollar, and we trade within the box, right? Look at the weekly stochastic heading all the way down to the oversold area. What happens when we came down? We came down with nice volume right here. And then we come back and we have a W formation, a retest W. What happens to the right side of that W? We have very low volume right there. Okay, very low volume. So what happens here is we're probably going to get a bounce. Okay, so that could be a little pullback for gold. I'm not saying we're getting a correction in gold. I'm saying that we're getting a pullback, possibly, of gold with the dollar basing here of the weekly chart for a possible ride to the upside here. We have the retest W. We have a big one. Okay, so that's something. Let's say you want to put on your list and you want to say, hey, let's look at that. Let's look at the dollar as we keep watching the metals, because the metals are an important piece of this market right now. And another important piece of this market is that Microsoft just had earnings, right? So we look at Microsoft and we say, whoa, look at this. We knew we had earnings. We called it. We were telling everybody, be careful here as you got earnings. They gave a cushion. They brought it back into where? into this monster volume spot right here. So what happens in that spot? You retest it with lighter volume down here. And then this is, coming up with the buying volume, even though it's red because it closed lower. Okay, but that's buying volume right there. And then we weren't wrong. Remember, we said we were probably heading to the 310 to 312 area. Right now we're 303.37 at 11:37 a.m. on April 27th here. So this is something that we're not surprised about because we were calling it before. We were trading within the box because here, this was the boxed area, okay? And then we wanted to see if we were going to get up and above. And what happened? Now we just had the breakout. So what happens? Everybody that's short right here on Microsoft, every single person that's down in this, up in this spot right here, saying, hey, you know what? We're shorting the hell out of it because look what happened last time, okay? And we had lighter volume in this area, but we had bigger volume coming into it this time. So that could have been the telltale sign that when we were, look at the volume down here, when it was up in this area, and then look as it was approaching that area, look at that. So then you say, and then now look at that, stochastic heading up. Okay, so don't chase this because you have the gap up. Don't chase this because why? Why not to chase it? You don't chase it because why? Because you're in the resistance spot right now. Okay, so let's pull this up and stretch it out a little bit for you. And where are you? Right now you slammed right into resistance, okay? So you want to be careful there. I mean, we could go up higher and keep following through here. How are we going to know? We go to the smaller time frame. So we go over to the 45-minute chart, and then what do we see? Okay, we see that we just made a new high again now. So we can continue to keep going up here as we keep making new highs on the smaller time frames. So let's say we want to go to a 15-minute chart, which I don't love to use because it's a little too choppy. But what happens here? Now you look at Microsoft and you say, oh my God, look at this. So we had the sideways consolidation, right? And we trade within the box, right? And then we drop above, we go above, and we're closing higher here. Closing higher, right there, right there, right there. And now we're going to close higher again here. So we have a little follow through volume here with the gap up, but let's see what happens, okay? I don't like to chase these monster gap ups, okay? So that's something that you're going to have to be careful with, okay? Let's go over to the Taiwan Semiconductor, because that's a stock that we've been following for a very, very long time here. And what's happening right now is we're into the gap area here, okay? So look, right here, we're into this area trading within the box, right? Okay? So right here, what happens is we're moving into this area with lighter volume, okay? So we're going to get a bounce probably in this spot right here. So coming off the support level here. Okay, we just had earnings, and we dropped right after the earnings, okay? So that's something that we've been looking at for a while now, okay? So we want to keep looking at that one as we're coming off the bottom here. Okay, Costco, go over to Costco. And remember what we had at Costco. Let's go to a weekly chart. Remember what I told you weeks and weeks ago about this. Costco, we got the squeeze play. We got the pennant formation here, okay? We got the squeeze play coming, okay? So what is the squeeze play, okay? See how see this little pennant formation here? You got higher lows here, okay, so far, okay? What's going to happen when this squeezes in this spot right here? Are we going to squeeze and then break? Or are we going to squeeze and then go up into this area, and then we start heading, and we start heading to 577? Or our first stop would be up in the 490, actually be a little higher than that. So let's say 543. Okay. So Costco's something that you really want to keep your eyes on, because what's happening here, we have earnings on August 2nd. Okay, so that's something that we're gonna continue to watch here. Now, as we look at Costco, what happens? We go slam right into the resistance area. Then we come back down and we go into an area with higher volume. Okay, so this could hold right in this spot as it's pulling back, or it could drop right into this spot right here. So right now we're sitting in a little bit of a support area. Okay, we slammed into resistance, taking a profit. Okay, now we're pulling all the way back down to here. Let's see exactly what's going to happen here. Okay, so we know, what do we know again? We know we got this going on with this little channel coming up, right? And we got this going on. So we're in a little bit of a channel here. So we're at support. So you don't know if you're going to stop and you're going to start heading up here. And we'll continue this channel, okay? We have 1, 2, 3 peaks. We can get into the 4th peak here. Okay, that could very well happen, okay? So that's something that you want to look at on Costco. And it's something that we've been watching for a while, just like we've been watching. Let's go over to Aapl. So Aapl we look at here, and then let's look at a weekly chart so we can get a little bit of a 40,000 foot view here, because you got to really know where you are on the weekly chart first before you do anything else here. Because I want to know where I am. Am I low? Am I at a support area, or am I at a resistance area? And why? Because we trade within the box, right? In the box trading, within the box. There's your box of your opportunity, okay? What happens here is you end up looking and you go to the daily chart, and then you say to yourself, what's happening on the daily chart here, okay? We did trade within the box right here, and then what happened? It came up and over. We came up and over into it, and then we stopped at support. Okay, we went into this swing point right here, okay, on September 12th, 2022. And this swing point right here had almost 105 million shares, okay? So as you were going into this here, we're going in with 68 million shares. So what happens? Of course, we pull back only because we don't have enough juice to get above. So what happens here in this spot is we have this little thing going on here. And you can see it. See that little cluster? But you do have the higher low as you're heading up. Okay? So we could head up to this 172 range. And we want to look at it and how do we know? We have to look at the volume to see where this is heading, okay? And then right now we're going into this downdraft. Okay, this downdraft right here had 79 million shares, okay? So as we go into this with 47 million shares, let's see how it's going to deal with this downdraft here. And let's see if it fails going into this downdraft, because you are going into a lighter volume. So you do go to a lower time frame to see what's going to happen with Aapl. And then let's stretch it out. I always love to stretch it out because I want to see what's happening, okay? What's happening here, trading within the box, is that we have beautiful volume, okay, on Aapl, okay? So what's happening here, once you know you got the strength with the volume, okay, you're coming up into this area here, and coming up with beautiful volume on a 2-hour chart right off of support. So if Aapl's your stock, that's something that you want to look at right there, because you want to time it on a smaller time frame as you're coming down. And you got the W formation, and then boom, okay, right there. How do you know you got the W formation? You go over to the line chart. And do you have it? Sure you do. It's right there. It's right there. Okay, and then you probably get a pullback here, then head back up to 167.44. Right now you're at 166.68. So on Aapl, that's something you want to keep your eyes on because you're heading in. You want to see, now trading within the box, right? What do you want to see here? You want to see that you came off support and you're heading into the resistance area, but you're coming up 3 million shares going into 1.9 million shares. Okay, so you're 1.56 million. So you got strength going into this area. Can you slam into it and pull back and then recock and then head up to 169.87? Yes. Yes. So remember, you are in resistance on Aapl because when you look at the weekly chart, what does it tell you? I mean, can you make a few runs at it? Sure. But it does tell you with smaller volume, as the volume decreases, you're up here, right? That you could get a little bit of a sideways thing going on and then get a pullback. Okay. So look at the trading within the box right here. At this point, we were waiting for it to break out. Okay. So that was when we were looking at Aapl. That's what we were looking at in that situation. So, okay, that's it for now. I just want to thank everybody for coming, checking out Trading Within the Box here. Please like and subscribe my channel. Please share this video as much as you can. I hope this helps everybody. Have a wonderful day and happy trading.